Let's see, I think we are officially live now. Hello! Oh, I gotta fix this angle. Good to see you guys. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Again, I apologize about the length at which it's been. Let me know if everything's doing all right. How is the audio coming through? Is the picture clear? Clearly, I'm shooting with a different angle. I'll explain everything that's behind me in just a little bit, but it is good to be back. I've missed you guys. It's been quite some time, so if you're watching live right now, do me a solid, give the video a thumbs up. Let me know when the video's coming through nice and clear, and let me know where you're watching from. It's good to see all of you guys here in the chat. Thanks for hanging out and being patient with me for missing things. Busy as always. I am looking at our picture here, and I'm realizing that I actually don't like to see the bottom of this microphone. Is that just kind of weird? Vision's clear, sound is good. Darth Vader says streams. Good to see you guys. I'm gonna adjust the camera angle one quick second, and then we'll dive right on and go and say hi to everybody that's hanging out in the live chat. We got a handful of people that are all here. It's good to see all you guys. Just give me 1 second. Alrighty. Turn off my little heater because it's gonna get warm. Alright, so good to see all you guys. We got CJ, Darth Vader's in the chat. We got Janessa and Johnny, Crazy C, Zhao and Jasmine and Heidi. Hello everyone. It's good to see all of you guys. I'm just enjoying a little protein shake thingy. I've been trying to get a jump on all the New Year's resolution people, and I am going to the gym a little bit more regularly, which has been very nice. And which means I have to do my whole protein thing and recover. Oddly enough, it's like almost 4 p.m. and I have not yet had my first meal. So this is meal number 1. So what's taking on place behind me, as you guys can see behind me, there is a little bit of a setup going on here. Some new microphones, things like that. You can see there's lights. Well, you can't see that one, but you can see it in the reflection of the window right over there. Light in the middle, accent lights, all that kind of good stuff. Long story short is I am wanting to kind of like, whoa, I better not play with this too much. Wanting to kind of like reinvest and reinvent myself. So reinvesting in myself and reinvent myself. And over the course of 2019, I'm going to be experimenting with some long-form content, podcasting style stuff. I'm very excited to show you guys kind of the very first of these videos. The first video is still being processed right now. It's a conversation between myself and my mother. But I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. There's some fun stories in there that are pretty fun. So it's got another 12 minutes or so before it's done processing. So it should be pretty cool. We'll be able to debut that first episode today, so I'm very excited to be able to share all that with you guys. And yeah, so I uploaded it actually earlier today. The problem is YouTube's like locked it up in processing kind of limbo. So the first one that I uploaded is like been locked at 95% process for like the last several hours, which is annoying. So I just uploaded it again, and now I have another 11 minutes before the second version of it is uploaded completely. So when that's all ready to go, I'll let you guys know, and we'll actually end up watching that video together. We'll end up premiering it together. It's a long form content. It's 1 hour long. It's a conversation between my mother and myself, and I share some stories from my life, and my mom shares kind of some embarrassing moments and just kind of our journey together. So I think it's pretty cool. I think you guys will like it. Andrew, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. It's been a while, all right? It's been a long time, it feels like. Upload time, 24 years, 9 hours, 32 minutes. That's kind of how it feels like, man. this upload's been forever, and I have, you know, I pay for the best internet that I can afford in this kind of area, and it still takes forever. I think my last file was something like 10 gigabytes to upload, so it's a very long or very large file. Anyways, good to see all you guys. So like it's, oh, people are asking about gear and stuff like that. What kind of gear am I working through right now? This right here is what I've been using for my live streams for the last little while, and this is the Yeti. This is kind of like a blue, it's called the Blue Yeti. It's kind of like an entry level, pretty cheap microphone, not that amazing at all. I think you can get it for like $100. You can get it for cheaper online if you get it used. But I just invested in a handful of microphones over here. These are the Shure SM7Bs. And the video that we're going to watch together in maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe around 4:30 or so. It's 3:51 right now, local time. We are going to be trying to, the mic is slightly peaking. Okay. Is that better there? Thanks for the heads up, Chris. Appreciate that. The video that we're going to watch in maybe 15 minutes or so is actually on the Shure SM7Bs. So should be pretty cool. In Lore is asking if I respond to comments. Yes, I do respond to comments. And that's usually what we do on the live streams. And so feel free to leave any comments or questions that you guys want to chat about for today. But I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up for 2019. I'll make a full video on this in the weeks to come. But 2019, I'm going to be focused on a couple different areas. I'm going to prioritize a certain number of comments. First one is I'm going to be prioritizing Bible teaching content. I have an entire series of videos that I'm currently working on with a friend to go through the entire book of Romans. We chopped up the book of Romans into sections, and right now I think in total we're looking at somewhere around 65 videos to take us verse by verse, chapter by chapter through the entire book of Romans. And I'm really stoked to share that with you guys. We're already 20 episodes in that are already shot. I think in like 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to be shooting the next 20. And then the next month after that, we'll be doing the last chunk. So that's going to be one bucket of content that I'm really going to be focused on over the next year is biblical literacy. I want to be teaching you guys more about the Bible. I don't even really look at it as teaching. I'm just going to have discussions around the Bible with a friend of mine who's also kind of a traveling Bible teacher. He's the guy that I was doing stuff with in Hawaii, for those of you guys follow like my Insta stories and stuff like that. I'm going to be sharing Bible teaching stuff. So that's one content that I'm going to be prioritizing. The second piece of content that I'm going to be prioritizing is the Jesus series content, which I've already released 2 or 3 of those in. And so it's a focus on the life of Jesus, looking at the Gospels, questions that arise as I'm reading through the Gospels. And so I already have the next video written. I just need to shoot and edit that video. So that's going to be the second batch of content that I'm going to be focusing on. And then the third batch of content that I really want to be doing better at is the reason why I have this whole setup here. It's the podcasting stuff. One of the things that I really love is having extended conversations with people on faith. I think that that's really one of the major values of the church. This is one of the reasons why we do fellowship and things like that. But a lot of times, church has turned into, at least for me, this kind of consumption model, this thing where I sit down and I listen to someone else teach. And that's cool. Like, that's good. Like, that's valuable. But the problem with that is that there's no interaction. And so I want to be doing more conversations rather than like dialogues. And so I'm going to be doing more podcast style conversations. Those are going to be probably right around an hour or so each time that we do it. And yeah, I'm going to be producing long form content. They'll be videoed. I'm also going to actually end up publishing those to an actual podcast. So if you subscribe on like Stitcher or iTunes or something like that, I'll give you guys more information once we get to the point where we're publishing them. you can listen to it on audio only if you'd like. The idea with these conversations, the tagline I'm working through is conversations on life, faith, and the things that matter. And so it's going to be pretty fun. I have a couple of guests that are scheduled out, or like that I'm speaking to about talking to them. And we're going to be looking at some of the more touchy subjects, some of the more challenging, and the ones that require a little bit more nuance. So for example, I'm in conversation right now to talk with a friend of a friend who is a gay Christian who's celibate, believes theologically fairly conservatively, and as a way for him to live out his faith as faithfully as he can, he is chosen to be celibate. So we're going to talk to someone like that. We're going to be talking about issues on, like women in ministry, immigration, and social justice. I'd like to talk about abortion, talk about finances, and a bunch of different things that are really interesting, really practical. And I hate on YouTube how I have to try and cram all that into like a 10-minute video, because it's really hard to get all the nuancing and to really get the heart behind what's being said. And so we're going to be going more into podcast style conversations. And so that's the other bucket that I'm going to be producing. I will chop up those videos into smaller segments so that they are bite-sized, but I will be producing like the full feature length podcast. And so I'm really stoked about that. What will the show be called? CJ is asking. It's probably going to be like That Christian Podcast, honestly, or the Justin Koo Podcast. I don't know for a fact which one it's going to be. I'm still kind of deciding. If you have an opinion, vote for it. Let me know what you prefer. And I'll take into consideration. No guarantees that I'm going to do what you say, but yeah. Will the podcast only be available for patrons? Johnny is asking. No, the podcast will be available for everybody. The short videos will be for sure uploaded on YouTube. My question on what I do with the long videos, like the 1 hour long video with multiple microphones, multiple microphones and multiple cameras, I'm debating on that being for patrons only or making it public. And that's kind of the debate in my head right now. And I don't know the answer to that question. I would love to be able to make it available for everyone. Obviously, like everything that I've done so far has been free and available to everyone. But the challenge is, this requires time and money. Like in order to do the video podcast, here's the thing. Here's really where the rubber meets the road. In order to do the video podcast where I get to meet with this person face to face, I actually have to fly to where they're at in order to have this conversation. So this guy who I want to talk to about LGBTQ and his journey in faithfulness and sexuality, like I have to go where he's at in order to have that conversation face to face. The dude lives in Mexico. So in order to make that one episode, I have to fly to Mexico to do it. And I think that there's something that's really valuable about having these kinds of tough conversations in person, as opposed to via Skype or something like that. And so that's why I'm prioritizing it. So all that to say, that's why I'm debating making the feature length videos available on Patreon, because they're literally the people that are enabling me to fly and have these kinds of conversations. Viva el Mexico. Absolutely. Why can't you just Skype? Chromatic is asking. That's a good question. Theoretically, I could Skype. But the reason why I lean against Skype, or at least for certain types of content, I think for some of the conversations that I'd like to have, Skyping is totally fine. A handful of those conversations are going to take place right here in this room behind me, and so that'll save on cost. But certain conversations are just so challenging that I don't want to just like jump in right away. I prefer to spend time with this person, getting to know them, taking them out for a meal, and like having trying to build what resembles a relationship with this person prior to diving deep into some of the more challenging things and where we might agree and or disagree. And so that's why, I don't know, for me, the thing that I'm trying to model is how we can have these kinds of tough conversations with people in our community. And really the way that we do it is through proximity. It's through having a relationship with that person. So that's kind of my point on that. What kind of interface am I using? People want to know all about the gear and stuff like that. The interface that I am using my normal camera for shooting. I'm using the Yeti microphone for recording. I have a couple of box lights around the room, as you can tell. And I am using OBS as my streaming software. And then for my switcher, I use this thing called Stream Deck, which allows me to push buttons and change kind of what you see. That's how I'm able to like call up Bible verses on the screen like that. I just push a button. Or I'm able to go back to my original screen or to share like a Chrome browser or something along those lines with you guys. So that's kind of what it's like. Let's see. What kind of camera am I using? I run a Sony A7R Mark III. Jay's asking, have I sorted out the title for your upcoming series about Jesus? Great question, Jay. It turns out people like the Jesus series. There were a couple like decent answers or decent suggestions. Let me pull this up on the community tab. But it seemed like a good chunk of y'all actually really enjoyed the Jesus series concept. Let's see here. Oh, that's what I got to do. Let's see. Close that and that. There you go. All right. So here's my community tab, as you guys can see. I posted. Where does it go? Where's the one for the Jesus series? Oh, did I not post a thing? Here, let's do this. Let's just post a poll. Oh, no, that's not what I want to post. I want to do one of these guys, add a poll. Last, series title, help. Jesus series. Or other, leave your suggestion. Most people, the kind of feedback that I was actually getting, here I'll post that in my community tab in case you guys want to weigh in at all. Most of the response that I actually got was that you liked the idea of the Jesus series, and that's simple enough. It makes sense, and I'm happy to do that if that's what you guys are interested in. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I don't quite care, honestly, to have that discussion or that debate really right now as far as like LGBTQ. Like, that's not the time and place as far as I'm concerned. It's not something that I'm trying to talk about right now. So y'all can talk about that. That's fine, but I'm not trying to jump in. Where are my glasses? My glasses are in the bathroom. I actually wearing contacts right now because I went to the gym earlier today and did a workout and did a swim workout in particular. And when you're swimming, you can't really see, or you can't really swim effectively with glasses. And so I decided to just put on contacts so I could, at least when I put in my goggles, it's not just complete blur everywhere, because I'm pretty blind. I can't really see anything. What will the Jesus series be about? The Jesus series quite plainly is going to be about Jesus. So we're going to be looking through the progression of the story of Jesus. We've actually already started, like we've done 2 or 3 episodes in it. You can check it out. I guess I should create a playlist for the Jesus series. But the short, quicker, little bit more lighthearted take on questions that I have when it comes to the story of Jesus. And so, yeah, that's kind of the idea. One of the videos that I think it's the most recent video I posted is on that subject. And it's looking like the video, did it actually get processed? I'm looking at my laptop right now, and the reason why is because I've been trying to get this video for you guys processed, and it looks like it is. So I gotta do the whole thumbnail thing, and give me a second for that. I saw a question coming in from Bearded Ministry. Bearded Ministry, what's going on, Josh? Good to see you, buddy. Josh is a good friend and a fellow YouTuber. So he had a question. Let me pull that up real quick. What was the question? One question. What are your family Christmas traditions? Truth be told, Josh, I am a little bit of a Scrooge when it comes to Christmas. I don't really care for Christmas traditions all that much. Emily loves Christmas quite a bit. For me, it's just like, it's whatever. I don't really give too much thought about Christmas. To me, Christmas is just any other day. It's another day to work. It's another day to just do life or whatever. And so, I don't know. It's not something that I think about too much. Favorite Christmas tradition, though, to answer your question, there is one or two traditions that I really do enjoy. One is every single year from like first grade on, I sang in the choir at my school. And I really, really loved singing the Hallelujah chorus. Like at candlelight concerts and things like that around Christmas time. People would do this whole thing about the Hallelujah chorus. And being as someone that no longer gets to sing in a choir or anything else like that, like I really miss those times of my life. And so getting to sing the Hallelujah chorus on Christmas Day in like a church packed with people, for me, I really, really love that. Other than that, I mean, I really like gifts. As far as like my love language is concerned, my love language is gift giving and gift receiving. Like that's what how I feel love the most. And so I really like that tradition about getting gifts for people. For the last, like, I don't know, 5-6 years, I've been quite poor. So I haven't really been able to get gifts for people like I like to. So when I buy gifts, my policy more or less is this. I don't get you a gift by default, because if I'm going to get you a gift, I want it to be a nice gift, a gift that takes a lot of thought and takes even finances to do it. Like I like to be generous, and I don't care for like, oh, here's a t-shirt. Like I just think that that's a waste of time or money. So I basically don't get gifts, or I get like really good gifts, and there's really no in between as far as I'm concerned. People are farting in the chat. That's awesome. Kent is asking, what are your thoughts on the missionary that was murdered visiting the Sentinel Island? Give me 1 second. Let me finish writing this title. Other child. Boom. Okay. That's a tough story. Like I'm very obviously the first thing I thought of was like, man, that sucks. Like my heart goes out to that individual and the family, namely because like I know what it's like to be a missionary in a little sense. I've done mission trips that are like shorter term things, which is obviously not the same as trying to reach a brand new people group. I also have friends that quite literally this last 7 days, last week, ended up shipping off to a place in Asia to be missionaries. And they are going to be career missionaries. Like they have signed up for a commitment of 10 years overseas. Their first visit back home is in 3 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like leaving your home and family, like to that extent, is incredible. To me, it's very admirable. I admire people who do that because they take the message seriously. They're doing what they can to live out the message of the gospel as seriously as they possibly can. And to that, I have the utmost respect and just like admiration for these kinds of people. There are stories like the missionary who died recently that get me to think like, man, like that's probably not good. I mean, obviously it's not good when people die, but like, did he do something wrong? Like, did he take the wrong approach? Like, why would he go to this island? I think the story actually is if you read some of the articles, talk about how he was on the island once and like they basically chased him away and threatened him. I don't know if that's true or not. But basically he gets the sense that he could die if he does it again. And so in this modern era, when I hear something like that, I'm just like, why would you keep doing that? Why would you continue pursuing that? Just seems kind of stupid. But then I think about Paul. And I think about the story, like, what's the text where he talks about, let me pull it up. The Bible says in Acts, and I think it's 27. Let's pull that up. Acts 27, and I think it's verse 27. Oh wait, no, that's not the one. Second Corinthians 11. Sorry. Okay, so check this out. Check out the story of Paul, his testimony. Let's see. Let's just go here for context. But whatever anyone else dares to boast of, I am speaking as a fool. I also dare to boast of that. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Blah, blah, all these different things. Okay, verse 24, he starts to talk about different times that he has suffered for the gospel. He says, 50 times I received, 5 times, not 50, 5 times I received at the hand of the Jews the 40 lashes less 1. Remember watching the Passion of the Christ movie when he got beat and whipped and flogged in front of all these people? Paul experienced that 5 times, according to this passage. On 3 separate occasions, he was beaten with rods. 1 time he was stoned. 3 times he was shipwrecked, and he spent a night and a day adrift at seas. He's always in danger from natural disasters like the rivers, dangers from robbers, and dangers from his own people, dangers from the Gentiles, dangers in the city, in the wilderness, at sea, through false brothers, etc., 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 etc. So in kind of our lineage of Christianity, persecution at the response of preaching the gospel is kind of status quo. And so when I think about like this poor missionary guy who dies, is like part of me is like, dang, that sucks. He probably screwed up. He probably did something stupid. Like, could it have been avoided? Like, these are the kinds of questions that I'm thinking about for myself. And then I think about Paul, and I'm like, you know what? Paul faced this. And if Paul didn't do that, where would I as a Gentile be? So I have very mixed feelings about this whole thing. And I'm not 100% sure where I land on it all. I know that I'm saddened to hear that this person has passed away. I'm also encouraged to hear that this person had the kind of living faith in which it spurred him to action. And I respect that. Whether or not he did everything perfectly or not, I think, we'll learn in the age to come. But beyond that, I don't quite know. The podcast listening struggle is real. What happened with the podcasting struggle? I'm trying to catch up on your guys's on your guys's chat. You guys have a lot of things going on all at once. Let me add tags to this video. I gotta multitask and make sure I get my video ready for you guys. So, all right, let me turn on scheduled December 17 at 4:30. Premiere is on. Boom. And then end screens. Last little bits. Okay, guys, this video will go live at 4:30. Am I married? Someone's asking. Yes, I am married. You must be new to the channel, in which case, welcome, that kid. Good to have you here. Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, I am married. Been married now for coming up on 4 years. So yes, looking forward to our next year of marriage. I think this 2019 is gonna be pretty cool. Anthony says, "Oh, Justin, you should do a call broadcasting thing, like taking people's calls while live streaming." I've thought of that actually very much. The problem with it is like it's hard to know for a fact what kind of people will call, because on the internet people like to troll, and especially with an issue like Christianity, and you get the live component, people can say some nasty things and blah blah. It's just kind of like I don't know if it's worth all that effort or not. I've thought about it though. That's the nice thing about podcasting though, is like you can like send in voicemails to the podcast like they do on Anchor, and we can respond to it via that or something along those lines. Good call, Kevin says. Hey Kevin, good to see you, buddy. Kevin, by the way, bro, what do you think about this? You asked what the podcasting setup would look like. It's gonna look something like this. When Emily gets home, I want to shoot something along these areas. I'll pull out. Kevin is a friend of mine who's also a YouTuber, and he teaches people like how to do YouTube and how to like work their cameras and stuff like that. He's a pretty cool guy. This is what the setup kind of ends up looking like. Let me get out of the way. Oh, I guess the chair's in the way. But yeah, 2 tables with the microphones on either end. I actually have these little accent lights over here. So I got these daylight fill boxes. You can see in the mirror, the lantern is hanging up in the ceiling right over there. And then I have like these the small travel accent lights that Peter McKinnon suggested a while back. So that's the thing that I'm kind of doing right now. So anyways, yeah, thanks for the help, buddy. I appreciate it. Kevin's the guy that I literally called when I was at IKEA this last week for advice on how to do all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I see a lot of people are talking about mental illnesses, autism, ADD, ADHD. That's pretty cool. I am someone that is on that as part of that community. I was diagnosed ADD, ADHD, if you couldn't tell by my, like, I'm always distracted kind of a thing. And when I was a kid, I was also diagnosed bipolar. So I have an idea of what that's like and the challenges of all that kind of stuff. I think it's cool when people like you guys are talking about it and are open about it, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, that's pretty sweet. Let me see here. Where is my, here's the video URL. Okay, so in about 13 minutes, y'all, the video is gonna go live, and I'd love for y'all to check it out. This is gonna be like my first attempt at like a video podcast thing. It's not live, obviously, because I'm talking to you live and it's already shot and edited and all that kind of good stuff. But it is something that I think that you guys will enjoy. Let me pull it up, and I'm going to try and find the link so I can send it to you guys. And we can do like a little watch party if you're interested in doing any of that kind of stuff. Here we go. Someone says, why does a guy flirt with a girl if he doesn't want a relationship? Linnell's asking. Because guys are stupid. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Guys are idiots when it comes to relationships. Most people don't think their way through relationships or problems like that. They just do. And especially when you're a young person, young people in general, we are stupid when it comes to this area. Young men in particular are even more stupid when it comes to this, because hormones are raging. You can't just think clearly. It's just like, man, like we make some really dumb decisions. And so why? Because we're dumb. Like that's my honest thought on it. We need to grow, and we need to mature, and we need prayer, and we need to learn, and we need trial and error. So yeah. So many women are still singles. Should we try online dating? You can certainly try online dating. I've done a handful of videos on like online dating or kind of like alternate ways to meet someone. And I think it's worth it. Like, yeah, I met Emily speed dating. We actually end up talking about that here. I'm going to show you guys the page. There's the video that's going to be going live in about 10 minutes. In that video, I actually talk about speed dating and how I met Emily and my mom's first responses to like me introducing Emily to the family. And we also talk about, as you can tell by the title, the time that I got arrested, which actually is not clickbait. I actually did get arrested when I was, 15 years old, something like that. How do I hide that? Okay. So there's that. How do I make that smaller? There you go. That looks better. So, yeah. Anthony, if oysters are unclean, why do they have nutritional benefits? That's why I still love oysters and shellfish. Just because it's got some health benefits doesn't mean that it can't be, have some nutritional benefits. Obviously, if you're eating any kind of food, there's going to be some kind of nutritional benefit, period. Like the fact that it's made up of organic material, like that's going to happen. So I don't know. I don't think it has, I don't think that should play in to whether or not you choose to eat clean or unclean meat at all. I want to try to audition in worship ministries. Any tips? Jenny is asking. Very cool, Jenny. I like to hear that. Give it a shot. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, especially if this is the very beginning. Realize that there's no such thing as like a big break. I think in that kind of ministry, it's more about being consistent and being like an expert at your craft. But in order to be an expert at your craft, whether that's singing or playing an instrument or something like that, that takes time, and you have to put the time in. And so that takes, months and months and years, if not decades of practice and just like getting better at what you're trying to do. And so just put in the time and learn to enjoy it. Learn to enjoy the journey, not so much the end destination. Like don't only define success by like, oh, if I become famous and sell records and lead in churches with thousands of people. Like, no, like enjoy doing that for friends. Sit down on a Sunday afternoon, hang out with some friends at the park and just like jam out. Like that's fun. Enjoy the journey together. I think that's pretty cool. Nick is asking, I want to start a Bible study at my high school. Any advice? Get started with friends. Start small. The Bible talks about how do not despise small beginnings. And I think that could be applied to so many parts of our life, whether that's ministry, whether that's music, whether that's school or business or whatever it is. Like we oftentimes think like we got to get it all together and it's got to be perfect and be the best all at once. But like just take it easy. Like just allow yourself to go through the journey and enjoy that journey. It's pretty cool. Give me a second. I'm going to do a Facebook post real quick to let people know that we're going to be doing the premiere of this video. Give me 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I need to copy the thing. What do I think about programming or being a software developer? Johnny asks. I don't have much experience with that. I'm not gifted in that. I was hanging out with a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago who is in the process of understanding like software development and things like that. And he loves it. Like he loves it. For him, the reason why he enjoys it so much is the ability to be able to take idea to reality. And I get that, like that creative component is super cool. And one of the major reasons why he wanted to do that is so he could help equip different ministries with the technology that they need in order to spread the message. I thought that was really, really cool. So yeah, if that's something that you feel led to do, then go for it. I think that would be really cool. If software is your thing, it's a great career. It does take a certain way of thinking. Yeah, I think certain people like just gravitate to it. Like I was talking with Emily the other day with a bunch of her family, because a lot of her family is in like healthcare, and they're the kinds of people that just like deal with all kinds of bodily fluids and the people that it and I'm just like, you could not pay me enough money to be a doctor or a nurse. Like, no way. Like, if I knew for a fact that I'd make $1 million a year as a doctor, I honestly don't think that I would do it, because it's so clearly not how I was wired, so clearly not how I was built, that there's no way that that's something that I could ever enjoy. And yeah, so like tapping into who you are as an individual and who God has created you to be, I think is like really crucial. Maribel's asking, hey Justin, would you say that since getting into a relationship / getting married, you have spiritually grown significantly more than when you were single? I wouldn't say significantly more. I certainly have grown since I've been in a relationship, but I'd like to say that the speed at which I'm growing, or the rate at which I'm growing, is more or less the same before and after. Yeah, there's nothing magical about marriage in my opinion. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I couldn't say that it's like significantly different or better. But yeah, I don't know. I think that growth is a slow, steady thing, kind of like the rabbit and the hare, right? Like if you're not the rabbit and the hare, the tortoise and the hare. If you're like the tortoise, slow, steady, consistent growth, like that's the secret, man. Like that's really what it's all about. Real quick, y'all, wanted to pitch towards the video that we're going to be watching fairly soon. In about 3 minutes, this video is going to go live. And so I'd really appreciate you guys help with this video. I put the link in the live chat, and it's a conversation interview with my mom. It's kind of like the first example of what some of these conversational type things are going to be for the podcast in the next year. Early 2019, no guarantee that it's going to happen like first week of January. In fact, I can guarantee it won't happen then. But give me some feedback on this. It's kind of a more personal look. This isn't really going to be the podcast because this has no main subject other than stories about my life. So some of you guys who are just meeting for the first time, you probably won't care. But for those of you guys who do care, this is going to be a video that gives you kind of an insight into my life. So it's going to start in 2 minutes. Do me a favor. There's the link in the live chat. Let's go and head over there. Help me out. Get this video, ready for people to watch. Give a thumbs up. All that kind of stuff. It really helps make a difference when people give YouTube those signs. They know that this is the kind of content that they want to show to other people. So with that said, I'm going to shut down the live stream. Live is going to be starting in about 2 minutes. And so I hope to see all of you guys there. I will try and hop on live stream again tomorrow and hang out. So if you are interested in doing more Q&A, I'll do more of like a Bible Q&A rather than just like life and all that kind of stuff. If you are interested in doing Bible Q&A and all that kind of stuff, all you gotta do is hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification. That way the next time we do a live chat, you can come and hang out with us. And so with that said, I'm gonna pitch us over. We got 60 seconds left on the live stream. Let's go and head over there. Drop a comment in the live chat. Let me know that you came from the live stream to the premiere and that you are interested in checking out this video. With that said, I'm ending the live stream. I'll see you guys over there. And one more time, drop in the link in the chat and I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.